everybody. Welcome to Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I'm a transgender woman. I talk about all things horror. Now, I know I'm doing these out of order. I apologize, but also shit happens. I've already done Terrifier a while back, and I just did Terrifier 3 last week because I just saw Terrifier 3 last Sunday at the matinee. And, well, here's the thing. It's time to talk about Terrifier 2. Now, I'm going to spoil it a little bit because I can't really talk about it without spoiling it, because otherwise my description is going to be Art's back and the end. That's not much of a description. Obviously, he's back and he's going to kill people. But there's so much goddamn more to these movies than just Art kills people. And so I want to do this film justice. So I'm going to be light on the spoilers. I'm not going to tell you, like, everything. But I'm going to have to spoil a little bit. At least a little bit of the plot. Just a little bit without getting into the specifics of the consequences of what this means. I'll do my best. Obviously, when I talked about Terrifier, and I just talked about Terrifier 3 recently, that does mean if you finished Terrifier and you were wondering if Art was dead or not, no, he's not dead. Not yet. Or is he? I don't know. Maybe he's reanimated. But either way, the movie starts with Art getting off of the coroner's table and, finishing the job he started. Now, there's an A plot and a B plot in this movie. You would think the A plot would be Art doing Art things. It's not. He's actually the B plot in this movie, although it starts off with him and we kind of follow him. We only follow him for a little window, and then we jump right into the actual A plot. So Art is the B plot in this movie. The A plot is actually a young woman. I would say late teens, 18, 17, 19, in that ballpark. And her younger teenage brother, I think they said he was 12, possibly 13-ish, in that ballpark. And their mother. It's Halloween night, 1 year after the events of the first film, which was 1 year ago, the what they're calling the massacre. I can't remember. Something County Massacre, and they're calling him the Something County Killer Clown or something like that. I don't remember what county. There's too many goddamn counties in the world. But anyway, something like that. And the little boy wants to dress up like Art the Clown. Because it's Halloween night, everybody wants to dress up like Art the Clown. And we find out that Art is, for some reason, stalking this girl. And this is the spoiler part, so here we go. We kind of find out that the girl has some sort of supernatural or possibly psychic or some type of, I don't know. I guess psychic or supernatural would be our two choices. Telepathic connection with Mr. Art. And he kills people in horribly brutal, gruesome fashion. The kills are definitely more brutal in this one than they were in the first one, but not quite as brutal as in the third one, but obviously, you gotta step up your game with each film. Because the guy making this movie studied Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Chucky Lee Ray, and he knows what's up. The girl is our final girl, and obviously I have to spoil this part. I can't avoid it. Obviously she survives, this movie, because she's the main character of Terrifier 3, which I've already talked about. So if you've watched that video, you already knew she was going to survive this movie because she's in the third one. Allegedly. There's some time jumps going on, so maybe not. Maybe she dies in this movie, and Terrifier 3 is... No, doesn't work. But it is what it is. There you go. What I like about this one, again, versus the first one, like the third one, this one has an actual story with real characters and a plot and a decent sized budget and pretty good production values. So this one actually looks good. I would argue, even though it's a lower budget than Terrifier 3, I think this one actually looks the best of the three. They didn't spend all their budget on, gore on this one like they did the third one. And also, they cut some corners. They cheated a little bit. You'll have to watch the movie and the behind the scenes to figure out what I mean by that. But here's what I will say. This movie looks good. The people in this movie look good. And I mean, like, the costumes, the makeup, the dressing, the set dressing, and everything else. Art looks good in this movie. The apparition, I'm not going to say anything else about that, looks terrifying, but looks good for what they're going for. If you've had any kind of discussions or discourse with people online about Art the Clown or Terrifier, you know what the apparition is. And I mean, like, what it appears as. You don't maybe necessarily know why it exists or what it actually is, but you at least know what I'm talking about. The third act of this film takes place in a haunted house called the Terrifier. Ironic, I guess. And really good third act. Really solid confrontation between our female hero, the final girl, and Mr. Art the Clown. And a mid-credit scene you're not going to want to miss because it kind of sets up Terrifier 3 and kind of lets you know that, hey, this is still going to remind you that Terrifier 1 did in fact happen in this sequence of events in this film. Because there's a possibility you may have forgot, I don't know. But anyways, a couple of celebrity cameos. I'm not going to spoil that. And that's it. Terrifier 2 is a damn good film in the series, a good entry. It's a buy, absolutely. At this point, you're going to want the whole collection, I would argue. I love these films. I may have been a little harsh on the first Terrifier, now that I think about it. But that's partially because, or mostly because, there really isn't a story or characters to speak of in that first film. But the kills were good. So, I might have to go back and rewatch my review of Terrifier 1. Because if I did say it was a rent, I have to amend that to a buy. But I don't remember. Shit happens.